The other piece that I saw traffic increase to was to our like paying for college section. That was a major ad that we did. We put a whole section about scholarships and financial aid on each program page so that they could easily find what they needed to find. Like, can I pay for this?
Today, we're going straight into the heart of the recruitment funnel, academic program pages. These aren't just places for listing courses, they are prime real estate for influencing student decisions. Joining me are two powerhouses from Angelo State University, Brittany Miller, Director of Communications and Marketing, and Britt Hepler, Digital Media Specialist. Together, they've led award-winning projects to elevate ASU's digital presence, and we're going to break down exactly how they do it. Welcome to the podcast, ladies.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you. So let's jump in. Why should enrollment marketers treat program pages as recruitment tools and not just information content?
I think the biggest thing to remember about really any website is it is your number one marketing tool that you have. We have a lot of pieces that, go out, get sent between print and social and other elements, but it's all leading back to the website in some way. And so this was a big shift for us back in 2020 is when we actually redesigned our website. We changed it quite a bit to make sure that it was presented as the number one marketing tool that we have. The beauty of it too is that web can be changed, right? So you have a little bit more flexibility with that marketing tool. With the increase in digital marketing initiatives and the way that marketing in general is shifting, we really wanted to focus on the academic program pages in this redesign and then again in the refresh a couple of years ago that we did. With more, leads coming in where they don't really know much about you, it can be their first touch with the brand. And so when we redesigned in 2020, looking at it a couple years later, we knew the program pages were our weakest spot. And so that was the first kind of action item of okay, we need to fix this, especially as we start investing more and more money into digital marketing initiatives.
What told you they were your weakest spot? How did you know? What were you looking at?
Oh, gosh. Well, plenty of internal feedback. How about that? Is that a nice way to say that? We got a lot of internal feedback from particularly our academic side that they felt that the program pages were not adequately showing everything that you could do within a major. We had not a lot of text on there. There wasn't a lot of information on it. Or you could go and learn about it, but then you couldn't do anything else. So it was a lot of feedback from our admissions team too, saying, we have students going here, but then they can't figure out how to apply or how to request more info or find out the financial aid information, kind of the, natural progression of the search process. One, do you have my program? And then two, can I pay for it type thing. And so if we did it mostly off of some internal feedback that we were getting just from across the campus, across all stakeholders, that there was maybe some weakness there that we could enhance.
And as you were thinking about this transformation, who did you consider to be your main audience?
Prospective students first. That is what our entire website is driven towards. It's not that the other audiences don't matter because they all play a part, but most of our audience is going to be prospective students. So everything is written with a lens for them first, particularly anywhere that they might be, obviously. But then the parents are also a part of that too, right? We know that parents are more involved in the college search process.
That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, they're more involved and they have a lot of questions too. So we spent a lot of time really thinking about what would the natural progression be for both a prospect and their parents as they were going down the page, the ever looming scroll of what might they ask next. And so prospects first, but parents are a part of that too. Now it's hard to separate them like we used to, we used to have them in their own separate buckets, but now it kind of goes together. So
you just kind of gave us a picture about what it was like before, which sounds like it wasn't much, right?
It really wasn't. Yeah.
So what did you change and what have you found to be working really well with those changes? You're going to say what didn't change, right?
Actually, it all changed.
It
I'll
all
be real
changed,
honest.
yes.
It all changed. So I actually went to Britt first because I was like, hey, I'm about to flip these on their head. Are you ready? Like, we got to get some buy-in. And so Britt was actually the first person I talked to, and was like, how do you feel about redesigning some pages? Like, and
What
Britt's-
was that? What was that like for you,
Yeah.
Britt?
I was game for it. So I was on the search engine optimization side of things of I'm getting all of these recommendations, but I can't really help much with how the pages were currently. So when Brittany came to me, I was like, let's go. I'm all for it. Let's do it. And yeah, then the process started.
The big part, once I kind of knew that the team was like, yeah, let's do it. I think it's time. It's time. The big part this time was the buy-in and collaboration with campus. When we redesigned in 2020, there was nothing else happening at the time in higher education or the world. And so the buy-in collaboration process was harder, with everybody being virtual. It's just, and the deadline we were given to have the site go live from our administration, there's a lot of factors in that. So this time we were really intentional about the buy-in and the collaboration with campus of having them involved from start to finish. So they worked with us a lot on the information that they felt was important. Like, we reached out to them of like, what do you think the best things about your program are? And then that gave kind of fuel to the writers to be able to go in and give a voice to each program while still matching the Angelo State voice. The big part of this was the keyword research that Britt did, and I'll let her talk more about that.
Tell us about that. And especially this idea of how did you meld what a faculty member wants to say about their program with search optimized content with what the audience is looking for. I think that's the challenge, right? So tell us how you tackled that, Britt.
First and foremost, we have incredible writers. That's how we tackled that. But yeah, so it all started with the keyword research. I looked at what was trending. I looked at competitors and what they were ranking for, and taking into account the search volume for those keywords. So if the search volume is maybe 5, is it even worth our time to try to rank for that keyword? Now, is the search volume 15,000, 20,000 a month? Can we even try to compete with that? And trying to find a middle ground. And then also finding keywords that our writers could use in the copy that were grammatically correct. There's all sorts of keywords out there that a writer could not fit into a sentence and make the sentence grammatically correct. So coming at it from that sense too, of how can I make it easier on our writers? Our writers are genius. We have multiple of them. Brittany was one of them, and she is an incredible writer. And just balancing the readability level too, to get to that freshman and high school readability to where we can capture that audience and make it easily understandable. I'd work with our writers anytime, any day. They're incredible.
Not everyone has that. So I know there's a lot of people listening right now who are very, very jealous of that. And all of us, I think, have been through unsuccessful web redesigns, probably, right? More than we've been through successful redesigns. So it sounds to me like a key to your success on this one was that collaboration. Yes. How did you approach that? What tips would you give to other people who are working really hard on bringing those different pieces together to be able to put a product out there that improves the search engine optimization, improves your lead gen, improves your application, right? And gives a better user experience? What advice would you give?
It started with us with admissions. I think that a good relationship with your admissions team is crucial, right? Mm-hmm. Because you both want the same thing. The website helps recruitment helps them, which helps the university. It's just one big circle, right? And so they were actually our first stop, because the biggest change we probably made, I mean, really, like I said, the page changed, like we flipped it on its head. But probably the biggest thing that changed was we went from just a one-click RFI to that was our long RFI. We built short RFIs for each individual program page. And so we started with admissions first to make sure, hey, can we do this? Are you okay with us doing this? Because we're going to eliminate a lot of the RFI data because we want them to be quick, right?
Yeah, and we all know, the more things you're asking, the less conversion you're going to get. I was on a college's website a couple days ago, 30 plus fields.
Yeah. Yeah, and our main RFI does have that, and which I think there's a time and a place for that. But for these, especially when we're doing funneling more traffic to it through digital advertising, it was like we need something fast, and so they were game, which I'm grateful for. Immediately started working with their Salesforce, people on their team to start building these. From there, we went to our website strategy team. So we have a strategy team on campus that was established back in 2020 with the redesign that established a group of stakeholders for us to meet 2 times a year and kind of talk about the health of the site, from academics to student life to admissions, development and alumni relations, kind of all the key areas. And we took it to them and we were like, this is a weakness. We're hearing a lot of grumblings internally. We're looking at it from the perspective, if I was trying to find something about my program, what could I find? So the strategy team got on board with us. And this was all about a 4-month, like the 4-month research part was a lot of the collaboration. And then what happened is myself and the other writer who did most of this went to the department chair meetings of every college, told them what we were going to do and that we needed their help, because they know their program better than we do. And so we worked with every department head to get like their points of pride and things they really wanted, to mention, stick out, so that we could find that balance and write compelling copy that, again, satisfied the things that we wanted to make sure that the prospect had a good journey, but also made them feel like their voice was heard and that their program was reflected in the way that they wanted it to be.
What are some of your favorite either pieces of content or favorite program pages? Like what came out that you're just extra proud of that everyone should go check out?
One in particular I'm proud of is our curriculum and instruction page. So it's a graduate program, fully online. Before we redid our program pages, it had the curriculum and instruction degree had 3 specializations. And each specialization had its own page with very minimum copy. So it wasn't a great user experience of you had to click to each one. It was more clicks. And what came out of it was just 1 page. The department was on board. They were like, absolutely, let's combine it. It makes the most sense. It's 1 degree with just 3 specializations. We created a table to where we can still highlight each specialization, and the minimum copy was thrown into the page. Of course, keyword research was thrown in there and optimizing it. For someone who manages the website, if I can shrink the number of pages on the website, I will do that in a heartbeat if it makes sense. And we did that with a few other pages, but that was one that came into mind where we got 3 separate pages down into 1. So it's just a better user experience all around for the prospective grad student.
How about you, Brittany? What's your top?
Yeah, no, I think education was a good one. We did a lot of good work for the College of Ed during that redesign. The visual and performing arts pages were the ones that I really liked because there was the same thing. We had like 3 different pages for a music degree because one was like a, teacher cert, one was a specialization in voice, one was a specialization in instruments, and they were all their own page previously, but there wasn't enough copy for any of it. So it was just all kind of there.
Probably felt lame if you're a student who actually wants to go into music. It's like, oh, this is all they have to say about my thing. Yeah,
exactly. And we have a phenomenal music faculty and like facilities and things like that. And so we combined their pages to the same thing, tailored it more to the whole degree where they could then break out what they were looking for. Another area that I think helped solve some inefficiencies, I guess, was the engineering pages. We had a lot of information that wasn't on the program page, but was in the department page. But students don't go to the department page necessarily. So we were able to pull a lot of what was in the department page that are really good marketing pieces for our engineering programs and put them on their program pages. So those were some key changes that I think really just elevated those programs and the ability for students to find out more about them.
As you're evaluating their effectiveness, and it sounds like you guys are really tuned in to these program pages. It wasn't like you just did this a couple years ago and they've just sat there since then. What are you looking at? What kind of metrics are you looking at? What kind of engagement are you tracking? What kind of adjustments have you made based on that data?
Yeah, so first and foremost is those RFI submissions at the top, and that was the most immediate impact. I mean, almost instantaneously. So we
Wow.
went live with the undergraduate pages in May, right after graduation, and went live with our graduate programs August 1. So all over that course of the summer. It was really busy, like 6 months. Within the first month, the month of August, year over year, RFI submissions went from 128 to over 600.
Wow.
Like, I mean,
Impressive.
immediate impact. And we've just seen that trend the whole time. Like, our RFI count is just light years ahead of what it was, which is helpful for a lot of different initiatives, not just, the website. The other piece that I saw traffic increase to was to our like paying for college section. That was a major ad that we did. We put a whole section about scholarships and financial aid on each program page so that they could easily find what they needed to find. Like, can I pay for this? Let's send you over there. And the amount of traffic that started getting funneled there from academic program pages was something that we started seeing trending up as well. So those are the two big pieces that we've been tracking. And we modify the pages every once in a while, particularly as like the degree plans and tracks change or update. And so that we start the process over. We'll keyword research. We just did this for a couple of programs. We'll keyword research the new tracks so that we can work those keywords into the new copy. So it's made the process a little bit more involved probably than what it used to be before this format. But ultimately it's better for, recruitment and marketing initiatives. So,
And what kind of tools do you use to help with all of these pieces of it? Could be AI, could be other tools, but for content planning or keyword research, drafting copy, is there anything that you would recommend that the people listening look into?
So we use BrightEdge as our search engine optimization tool. They have a lot of AI elements in it as well. One of them that we have found really helpful is one that helps kind of do a content advisor in a sense. I can keyword research, plug in my keywords in the platform, and it can do its thing and spit out some, hey, here are some copy ideas, some content ideas. Obviously, we are not going to copy and paste, but it kind of helps get my writers past the writer's block in a sense to make the process a lot smoother. We do also use other AI tools, ChatGPT, to help write SEO descriptions, so meta descriptions that pull into Google. If it can help me save time because there's a lot of projects happening at once, then let's use AI to help in that. Is it writing our copy? No. But is it helping our writers get past that writer's block? Absolutely. Another way that we use AI is YouTube descriptions. So YouTube is the second most used search engine out there. And we started implementing department videos into our program pages. This was not done in the initial overhaul. But with that, I can throw in keywords with AI and be like, hey, can you write me a YouTube description? Give me some other keywords that you think would be helpful. And it gets me to that point to where I'm also optimizing on this other search engine platform to get us more traffic.
You're right in line with my thinking, Britt. I'm a big proponent of using AI as a helper, not a replacer. We've got to find that balance between it helping and the language not sounding human or persuasive. Only we know our students and really how to talk about our schools. Like, we have to put that critical thinking onto all of it. So you're spot on with me. That's my perspective too.
It's one of those things. AI's not going away. If anything, it's enhancing. And if me in particular, if I dig my heels into the sand and just refuse to learn it, I'm going to hinder myself in the future. So it's learning it a little bit, understanding how it works, and then finding the balance of, okay, it's not going to do it for me, but it can help me get past a certain point to then we know our voice for Angelo State and our tone, and we know our campus well. So it's a helper, not a replacer. I like how you said that.
And Brittany and Britt are going to be presenting about this topic at EduWeb Summit in July. Do you guys want to say anything about what people might be able to take away from that presentation if they come and join us?
The best thing about conferences, right, is seeing what has worked for other people and what they're willing to share, and to be able to this is our first option to present, or opportunity to present. So that's really cool. The big thing is, we're a small team too. And I know a lot of people, in higher ed resources are, a concern and a problem. And so we were able to do this internally with not a huge spend. Like if you take out the platforms that are helping us do like the SEO, keyword research and things like that, it was all done internally with an internal team, between partnerships established, between communications and marketing, admissions, IT. We were able to accomplish something really cool that made an immediate impact on the campus. So I think that's the piece that I would say I'd hope you take it. It can happen with collaboration, and a lot of work. It was a lot of work. I think we all cheered when we checked off the final box in our project management system.
Yeah.
But to see the reward of it so quickly, and what it was doing for us was just like, okay, that was worth the 8 months, like of the meetings and the meetings and the meetings and the writing and the rewriting and getting edits back and trying to balance edits with, we really can't do that, but here's what we can do, like trying to find a lot of that middle ground. And I think it's benefited the institution as a whole.
Well, good on you all, because patience is not one of my virtues. And it sounds like this required a lot of patience. I think to close it out, let's give everyone some homework. So I have some ideas. The first piece of homework is, if you can come to EduWeb, come to this session and learn even more and get your questions answered directly by Britt and Brittany. But if you can't do that, they're also on LinkedIn. And in the show notes, we'll have their LinkedIn profiles connected, and you can also get in touch that way. But here's some homework for you to try at your institution. Let's have everyone go pick one program page, audit it, and ask yourself, does this page inspire a prospective student to take the next step? Like, let's put our prospective student hat, pick a page, look at it, and let us know what you found out. Brittany and Britt, thank you so much for joining the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.